For years, I thought that sleeping poorly was simply part of getting older. I told myself, I'm already past 70. What else can I expect? But the truth was, I wasn't sleeping. I was surviving. I spent whole nights tossing and turning in bed, my head full of thoughts I couldn't switch off. I woke up tired, without energy, and with the constant feeling that I was losing more than just sleep. I was losing my vitality, my good mood, my life. Every morning was a struggle. I felt like my eyes couldn't fully open. Coffee stopped working before mid-morning. I had trouble concentrating, got irritated by anything, and there were days when I didn't even want to go for a walk, something I had always enjoyed. I started to think this was the new normal, a life dimmed, on pause, without rest, an old age without dreams, neither at night nor during the day. But one day, almost by accident, I found something that changed everything. Something so simple, I felt embarrassed for not having tried it before. It wasn't a pill, nor an expensive supplement, nor a complicated therapy. It was a tea. Yes, a tea. A natural one, made with herbs that my grandmother surely knew and that I had ignored for years. And no, it wasn't magic. It wasn't taking it one night and sleeping like a log. It was something deeper, more real. It was like teaching my body little by little to rest again, to turn off anxiety, calm the mind, recover that sleep I had felt lost for decades. Today I want to tell you exactly how I did it, what ingredients that tea has, what routine I changed, and how you too can sleep again like when you were 40. Because sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And if I managed it at 82, you can too. Now tell me, how old are you? And from which country are you watching this video? I'd love to read you in the comments and know if you're also looking for a way to sleep better, because this might just be the first step to changing your nights and your days. As the years pass, the body changes. But no one prepares you for what that really means. Some talk about knee pains, high blood pressure, or the forgetfulness that becomes more frequent. But there is a change that comes silently, without noise, and steals your peace night after night. Sleeping poorly. What was once so natural, falling asleep exhausted, closing your eyes and waking at dawn, begins to become a struggle. After 60, the body produces less melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. The internal clock gets off balance, and suddenly you find yourself awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling. You get up to the bathroom once, twice, sometimes 3 times a night. It's hard to fall back asleep. And when you finally do, the alarm rings. Or fatigue itself wakes you. Sleep, which once renewed you, now abandons you. I experienced it like this. At first, it was just brief awakenings at midnight. I told myself, it's normal, I probably ate late. But over time, those pauses grew longer. I stayed awake for over an hour and could no longer get back to sleep. I got up feeling like I had never rested, as if my body had been in bed, but not resting. And that's when everything started affecting me. I forgot more things. I struggled to find words. My mood became rougher. Little things irritated me. And worst of all, I didn't feel like myself anymore. I was fading away. Sleeping poorly is not just about not resting. It's living halfway. It's wanting to read a book and not being able to concentrate. It's being surrounded by people and having no energy to share. It's having time, but no desire. Does this sound familiar? A bad night often starts the same way. You lie down, hoping to sleep well, but as you close your eyes, your mind doesn't quiet. You start reviewing what you did wrong, what's pending, what worries you. The clock ticks forward, and you just want to rest. But the thoughts continue. You check the time, toss and turn, change position, sigh. And when you finally fall asleep, dawn is near. And that cycle repeats again and again. Fragmented nights, heavy mornings, and days without energy. The worst part is most people accept it as part of aging. It's normal, I already sleep little. but it shouldn't be. Sleeping poorly isn't an inevitable fate. It's a symptom, a sign that the body needs help, that something can change. And I discovered it when I stopped resigning myself and started looking for a solution. But before finding it, I tried many things, and most didn't work. Tank. When sleeping well stopped being normal for me, I did what many do: look for quick fixes. The first thing they offered me were pills. The doctor said, "They'll help you rest better." And the first night, yes, I slept. Not deeply, not restfully, but I slept. The problem was waking up. I felt like I'd been anesthetized, dazed, slow, with a cloudy head. It was hard to start the day. I stumbled over my own thoughts. And the worst was realizing that without the pill, I couldn't sleep at all. I was dependent on it. That's when another kind of insomnia began. The fear of not sleeping if I didn't take that pill. Every night I asked myself, what if it doesn't work this time? The worry about sleeping kept me awake. So I quit them, and I started searching for more natural alternatives. I tried meditation, deep breathing, sitting in bed, closing my eyes, trying to empty my mind. Some nights it helped, but most didn't. The thoughts stayed like a radio you can't turn off. I also tried exercising in the afternoon. I was told moving the body helps sleep better. I walked every day, stretched muscles, followed routines in videos. And although it helped me physically, at bedtime, insomnia kept visiting me just the same. I shared this with my sister. She had also had sleep problems for years. I remember once she said, "I've gotten used to it. I don't even talk about it anymore. Maybe that's just how it is at this age." And that hit me with a painful truth. We had stopped fighting. We had accepted poor sleep as inevitable. But one day, tired of feeling tired, I rebelled. I refused to accept that poor sleep was normal just because I was over 60. I told myself, there has to be another way, something more natural, something that doesn't leave me groggy in the morning, something that doesn't make me dependent or feel worse. And just when I decided that, a possibility appeared that I never imagined: an infusion, a tea, something so simple and so powerful. But I'll tell you about that in the next part. Day. I remember that day as if it were yesterday. It was a Saturday morning, and I went for a walk through the neighborhood market. I had no special intention. I just wanted to clear my mind, look at the fruits, feel the fresh air. Poor sleep had begun to affect me more than I wanted to admit, and that morning, like many others, I hadn't slept more than 3 hours straight. I passed the bread stall, the vegetable stand, and then stopped in front of a small table full of dried herbs. Colorful little bags, handwritten labels, and a warm aroma that wrapped around me instantly. Behind the stall, an older woman, white hair, bright eyes, soft voice, greeted me with a smile. "Looking for something to help you rest?" she asked, as if she could see right through me. I laughed, a little embarrassed. I told her yes, that I'd been sleeping badly for a long time, had tried everything, and nothing worked. She nodded calmly, as if she knew that story by heart. "I went through the same," she told me, "and it wasn't a pill that helped me. It was this." She pointed to a herbal blend with a name I had never heard. She explained it was an old recipe, combining plants known for their relaxing properties. Nothing strange, nothing magical, just well-understood nature. I was skeptical, I admitted. I thought, a tea? After all I've tried, a tea is supposed to be the solution. But there was something in the way she spoke, that calmness in her eyes, that confidence without exaggeration. I took it. That night I prepared a cup. Hot water, a teaspoon of the mixture, 5 minutes to steep. I sat in silence, lights off, only the sound of the clock ticking seconds. I drank it slowly. Didn't know what to expect. That first night, nothing extraordinary happened. I woke up as usual, in the middle of the night. But something was different. I didn't feel anxious. I didn't stare at the ceiling desperately. I fell asleep faster than usual. It wasn't perfect, but it was different. I kept drinking it, night after night, and then, the third night, I woke up at 6 in the morning, without getting up once during the night. I felt strange, like something had settled in my body. It wasn't just sleep. It was the feeling of having truly rested. The next week, I was sleeping 6 to 7 hours per night, deeply, calmly, without jolts, without that foggy feeling upon waking, like when I was 40. In that moment, I knew I had found something worth sharing, because it wasn't magic. It was common sense. It was giving my body what it needed, without forcing it, without doping it. And that's why I'm telling you today. In the next part, I'll explain why this tea works, what it has, what it does, and why it might be exactly what you've been looking for. Before continuing, I want to be very clear. This isn't magic. It's not a miracle cure. It's not one of those empty promises that say, take this and your life will change overnight. No, this is science. And it's something that works with you, not for you. To understand how this tea works, we first need to understand something very simple: how sleep works. When we were young, our bodies produced a hormone called melatonin very easily. This hormone is like a natural switch that tells your body, it's time to shut everything down and rest. But over the years, production decreases. Our body becomes more sensitive to stress, more vulnerable to anxiety, and less efficient at disconnecting when night falls. This is where this tea comes into play. The blend I started drinking, which I now prepare every night without fail, contains several herbs that have been studied for centuries for their effects on the nervous system and the sleep cycle. I'll explain them one by one. Valerian, perhaps the most well-known. This root acts as a gentle, natural sedative. It doesn't knock you out or leave you dazed. It just helps calm an overactive mind, reduce that internal tension we often don't notice, but that keeps us awake. Chamomile, not just digestive. It has anxiolytic effects, meaning it reduces anxiety. It soothes the nervous system, relaxes muscles, and prepares the body for rest. Passion flower, a natural wonder, helps reduce excessive brain activity, ideal for those who can't stop thinking at bedtime. Also improves the quality of deep sleep. Lemon balm, also known as balm mint, especially useful if your insomnia is related to stress. Helps reduce mental pressure, lowers heart rate, and makes you feel safe, calm. And lavender, which not only smells good, it has a direct effect on the brain's limbic system, where emotions are regulated. Its aroma and compounds help the body enter a nearly immediate state of relaxation. And what happens when you take all these herbs together in the right proportions? What happens is your body starts receiving signals of calm. Your sympathetic nervous system, the one activated by stress, gradually shuts down. And the parasympathetic, the one that allows us to rest, turns on. The mind stops racing, muscles loosen, melatonin flows again, and sleep comes. Not like a blow, but like a gentle wave that carries you without noticing into true sleep. That's what I felt. It wasn't that I forced myself to sleep. I slept because finally my body could do it on its own. It just needed a gentle help, a guide. And that's what this tea represents. A tool. A natural way to give the body back what it lost over time. It doesn't force it. It doesn't trick it. It accompanies it. Make. How to prepare it and when to drink it. Now that you know why this tea works, I want to tell you exactly how I prepare it, because how you make it and when you drink it make all the difference. Step by step. First, what tea to use. I use a blend of 5 herbs: valerian, chamomile, passion flower, lemon balm, and lavender. Sometimes it already comes mixed, and other times I prepare it myself with dried herbs bought in bulk at a natural product store. The important thing is that they are good quality herbs without additives or artificial flavorings. No sachets with colorants or synthetic aromas. If it smells too sweet or like perfume, be wary. The natural aroma of these plants is soft, earthy, floral, calm. For 1 cup, I use a level teaspoon of the mix. I boil water, remove it from the heat, and add the herbs. Cover and let steep for 7 to 10 minutes. This is key. Leave it covered so the essential oils don't escape with the steam. Then I strain it, and if I want, I add a drop of pure honey. But be careful, only 1 drop. No sugar, no artificial sweeteners. Excess sugar can disrupt sleep, even if it doesn't seem so. Now the most important, when to drink it. I drink it 1 hour before sleeping. That's the ideal time. Not right before going to bed, not while turning off the lamp. 1 hour before. Why? Because that's how long the body needs to start receiving relaxation signals. If you drink it too late, it won't have time to take effect. If you drink it too early, the effect will fade. And while I drink it, I also prepare my mind and space for rest. I turn off screens. No phone, no TV, no news. I let the house lower its volume. Sometimes I put a dim light on, open a window if the weather is good, and read a light book. No drama or violence. The body needs rituals to understand the day is ending. We are not machines that shut down abruptly. We are beings with rhythms, emotions, cycles. Sleeping well doesn't start when you close your eyes. It starts an hour before, when you tell your nervous system, "That's it. We're done for today. Now you can rest." That hour is yours. Your moment. When you give yourself permission to stop being available for the world and start being available for yourself. And that tea, prepared calmly, drunk without rush or distractions, becomes the symbol of that moment, the starting point toward a different night. Dark. My new nighttime routine that you can try too. Once I started with the tea, something inside me changed. It wasn't just that I slept a little better. It was that, for the first time in years, I felt I had control, that I could influence how I felt at the end of the day, and that gave me strength to make more changes. That's how my new nighttime routine was born. It's not complicated, it's not expensive. You don't need weird gadgets or impossible rituals, but it does require something important: intention. The first thing I did was change how I ended the day. Before, my nights were chaotic. TV on late, news full of bad news, phone in hand until the last minute. Then I wondered why I couldn't sleep. Now, starting at 8 in the evening, everything changes at home. The light becomes dimmer. I turn off white lights and leave only a soft lamp, one of those that invite rest. I lower the volume on everything. No loud TV, no loud music, just silence, or some calm instrumental music if I need it. And I take a few minutes to breathe calmly. Nothing complex. Just sit. Close my eyes. Breathe deeply. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. I do this 5 times. That's it. It seems little, but it works. Because I'm telling my body, we're done. Now it's time to let go. And now I want to share with you something that was key for me. A list of things I no longer do after 8. I don't watch the news. I don't answer messages on my phone. I don't check emails. I don't drink coffee, black tea, or sugary drinks. I don't argue. Not with myself, not with anyone. I don't push myself anymore. After 8, I simply let the day close. No demands, no pressure, no thinking about tomorrow. Instead, I gift myself calm, a warm bath, some reading, a quiet chat with someone dear, sometimes just silence. And it was this consistency, more than any remedy, that started transforming how I sleep. In the first week, I noticed it took less time to fall asleep. In the second week, I started sleeping more hours straight without waking up at night. And in the third week, something wonderful happened. I woke up before the alarm, rested, full of energy, like I was 40 again. Not outside, but inside. Yes, I won't lie. Not every night is perfect, but now at least I know what to do. I know how to prepare myself. I know I'm not at the mercy of insomnia like before. And best of all, I didn't depend on pills or empty promises. I just started listening again to what my body had been asking for years. Calm, rhythm, and respect. Chunk. Why sleep changes your health after 60? Sleeping well isn't just closing your eyes. It's not getting lucky with the night either. Sleeping well, truly, is one of the deepest acts of self-care you can have. And once you pass 60, sleep stops being a luxury. It becomes a vital necessity. I'm not exaggerating. Sleeping well literally changes your health. Did you know that during the night, while you sleep deeply, your body does invisible repairs? The immune system strengthens, the heart slows its rate, blood pressure stabilizes. It's like all internal parts realign silently. But if that rest doesn't come, nothing fully repairs. That's why when you sleep poorly, you get sick more often. You catch colds more frequently. You feel slow, irritable, confused. And over time, this accumulates a silent cost on your body. One of the most notable changes I felt when I started sleeping well again was my memory. I no longer went blank trying to find a word. I didn't forget names, keys, or why I had entered a room. My mood changed too. I laughed again. I wanted to go out, talk, move. Because fatigue doesn't just crush your body, it also dims your soul. It's not just perception. Serious studies confirm it. Research from universities like Harvard and Stanford have shown that sleeping 7 to 8 quality hours reduces heart disease risk, strengthens the immune system, improves cognitive function, and most importantly, extends life. Yes, you heard that right. You will live longer if you sleep better, and not just more years. More years with clarity, energy, and dignity. Sleeping well made me feel 10 years younger, and I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes I look in the mirror and see the same face, but I feel different. I get up eager. I walk more upright. It's easier to start the day. I became myself again. Because this also happens. When you sleep poorly for a long time, you start losing yourself. You become a shadow of who you were. And the sad thing is, you get used to living half dim, thinking it's normal, but it's not. And I understood that when I started sleeping deeply for several nights in a row. It was like reuniting with an old friend. Myself. That self who had patience, who enjoyed a good conversation, who didn't react irritably to everything. That self was asleep, but not at night. He was asleep inside, from so much time without rest. And when I truly woke up, when restorative sleep returned, I felt I had returned too. That's why I say without hesitation, if you're sleeping poorly, don't accept it. Don't see it as inevitable. Because if you recover your nights, you'll recover your days. And that's worth it at any age. Doug. So far, I've told you my story. How I slept badly, how I tried unsuccessfully, and how I discovered this tea that changed everything. But I know you might have questions now. And I'm glad, because it means you're taking your rest seriously. So let me answer the most common doubts I get when I talk about this. First, what if I don't like the tea? It's more common than you think. Some people don't like the taste of herbs, or they're just not used to it. The good news is you can soften the flavor naturally. For example, you can add an apple slice, a bit of cinnamon, or a few drops of lemon. But avoid sugar. It can alter your glucose before sleeping and affect rest. You can also drink it cold if you prefer, though personally, I find it more comforting hot, especially at night. Second question, can I combine it with medication? In most cases, yes. Herbs like chamomile, lemon balm, or valerian are gentle and natural. But if you're taking strong medications, especially for the heart, nervous system, or insomnia, it's best to consult your doctor or a trusted pharmacist. Remember, natural doesn't mean harmless, and caution is always better. Third common doubt, how long does it take to work? You have to be patient here. It's not a pill that knocks you out instantly. It won't make you unconscious like a sedative. These infusions act more like support, an ally teaching your body to relax. In my case, I noticed slight improvements in the first week, but it was in the second and third weeks that I truly started sleeping deeply. So give it time, and above all, be consistent. 1 cup every now and then won't do much. And then, what else helps alongside the tea? Many things. As I told you before, my nighttime routine was key. But there are other allies. Walking late afternoon, reading instead of screen time, avoiding heavy dinners, even writing in a journal before bed to empty the mind. It all adds up. Because sleeping well isn't just about taking something. It's about creating an environment, a body and mental language that tells your system, now you can rest. Now, I want to warn you about some common mistakes I've seen in people who try this tea and then say, it didn't work for me. First, drinking it too late. If you drink it just before going to bed, it might not have time to act. Ideally, drink it between 30 minutes and 1 hour before getting into bed. Second mistake, adding sugar. As I said before, sugar can cause a small energy spike just when your body needs to slow down. If you need sweetening, use a pinch of natural honey, but just a pinch. Third mistake, breaking the routine. Sleeping well isn't about a miraculous night. It's a sum of nights, a habit. If you drink the tea one night and the next day you're on your phone in bed and eat late, don't expect magic. The key is consistency. Repeating, night after night, that silent message telling your body, it's time to slow down. Just as you got used to sleeping poorly for decades, now it's time to teach your body how to rest again. And believe me, it can learn. In the last part of this video, I want to leave you with a reflection. Because all this we've talked about isn't just about sleeping, it's about living better. Let's go there. Chang, sleeping poorly stole my days. Not just the nights. It stole my patience, my desire, my smile. It took away clarity to think, energy to move, spirit to enjoy the little things. And worst of all, I had resigned myself. I had started thinking that was normal. That getting older meant sleeping little, poorly, with interruptions, with insomnia. But today I can tell you from the deepest part, it's not. Sleeping well isn't a privilege of the young. It's not a memory of the past. It's a right of the present. And it's much closer than you imagine. The day I slept deeply again, I knew it. I hadn't just rested. I had come back to life. Because when sleep is restorative, the day changes completely. You wake up with a different attitude. You make better decisions. You listen better to others. You laugh more easily. You walk with more intention. You connect with yourself. And no, not everything is solved overnight. But step by step, night after night, you can start feeling the change. Like it happened to me. Like it has happened to many people who also refuse to accept insomnia as inevitable. So if you're listening to me now, if you've gotten this far, let me say something clearly. Don't accept sleeping poorly as part of aging. It's not normal, it's not irreversible, and you're not alone. Your body still has a lot to give you. It just needs you to help it rest, to recover its natural rhythm, to reconnect with that silent cycle that gifts you health, clarity, and life. Maybe that first step is a tea. Maybe it's turning off the TV an hour before. Maybe it's leaving the phone out of the bedroom. Maybe it's starting to say, enough, I need to take care of myself. Whatever it is, take that step. Because sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a foundation. And from there, everything improves. And I want you to keep this phrase with you, because it's what I repeated until I slept like before. You don't have to be 20 to sleep like a 20-year-old. You just need to understand what your body is asking for. And when you listen to your body, when you finally give it what it needs, it gives back to you tenfold. It gives you energy. It gives you balance. It gives you a desire to live. Thank you for staying with me until here. I'd love for you to tell me, have you ever tried a tea for sleeping? Did it work? What's your experience? And I also want to know about you. How old are you? And from which country are you listening? I read you with affection in the comments. If this video helped you, if it gave you clarity or hope, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing it with someone who needs it. Maybe this way, another person recovers their nights and their life. See you in the next video. And tonight, when you prepare to sleep, remember, you deserve to rest, and you can do it. Good night and sleep deeply.